Hi guys, this is Shaik Ansar Basha, PGT History. Today I would like to present a PowerPoint presentation NCERT Class 7 our past chapter 10, that is 18th century political formations. This is map 1 and map 2. Map 1 indicates state formations in the 18th century. Map 2 indicates British territories in the mid-18th century. Mid means 1851 onwards to 1900. This is complete 18th century. This is the boundary what is shown the Mughal Empire. These are all the British territories in our country. This is completely Bengal and then Sarkar districts, and then you can see the Madras, and these are all Gujarat part. This is, if you look at map 1 and 2 closely, you will see something significant happening in the subcontinent during the first half of the 18th century. In this chapter, we will read about the emergence of new political states and groups in the subcontinent during the first half of the 18th century, roughly from 1707 when Aurangzeb died till the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761. The Third Battle of Panipat was fought between Ahmad Shah Abdali, an Afghan ruler, and the Marathas. After that, the Marathas' power became very weak. Later, Mughals began ruling from Bahadur Shah I from 1707 to Bahadur Shah II till 1857. After 1857, the Mughal Empire formally declined. The Mughal Empire started facing a variety of crises towards the closing years of the 17th century. These were caused by a number of factors. Emperor Aurangzeb had depleted the military and financial resources of his empire by fighting a long war in the Deccan. Deccan means South India. Under his successors, the efficiency of the imperial administration broke down. It became increasingly difficult for the later Mughal emperors to keep a check on the powerful Zanjars, nobles appointed as governors or subaydars, often controlled the office or the revenue and military administration. Peasants and Jamindars also revolted in many parts of the northern and western part of India, added to these problems. Not only Jamindars and Mansabdars, but also Sepoys, peasants, and all started revolting against the Mughal authority. In the midst of this economic and political crisis, the ruler of Iran, Nadir Shah, sacred in 1739. Thereafter, Ahmad Shah Abdali, who invaded India in 1748 and 1761, and he defeated Marathas in the Third Battle of Panipat, which is located in Haryana in the year 1761. After 1761, the Maratha confederacy became very weak, and they split into so many factions. Farrukh Shah, one of the king of later Mughal empire, and he is a later Mughal emperor, receiving a Nobel in his court. Emergence of new states. Here we have Hyderabad and then Bengal and other. These are the three important states we have to study in this particular chapter, along with Marathas, Rajputs, and Sikhs. So overall, we have to discuss 6 important new powers that has emerged in the 18th century, that is Hyderabad, Bengal, Awadh, and then Marathas, and then Rajputs, and then Sikh. Emergence of new states. With the decline in the authority of the Mughal emperors, the governors of large provinces such as Hyderabad, Awadh, and Bengal, Subedars and great generals consolidated their authority in different parts of the subcontinent. Subcontinent means India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan together called as a subcontinent. Through the 18th century, the Mughal Empire gradually fragmented into a number of independent regional states. Broadly speaking, the states of the 18th century can be divided into three overlapping groups. Number one, states that were old Mughal provinces like Awadh, Bengal, and Hyderabad. States that had enjoyed considerable independence under the Mughals, as Vatan Jagirs in Rajasthan by Rajputs. These included several Rajput principalities. The last group included states under the control of the Marathas, Sikhs, and others like the Jats around Agra. These were different. These were of different sizes and had seized their independence from the Mughals after a long drawn armed struggle. This was happened because of the weak authority of the Mughals. This is the Mughal Empire. Now, the new kingdoms established are Awadh, which was founded by Saadat Khan Burhan Mulk, and his capital is Lucknow. Lucknow is also the capital of Uttar Pradesh today. Hyderabad dynasty kingdom was established by Asaf Jah Nizamul Mulk, which had the capital Hyderabad. Today also Hyderabad is the capital for Telangana state. Bengal is another important independent kingdom which was founded by Murshid Quli Khan and having Murshidabad as the capital. This is Hyderabad state. We shall discuss one by one. First, we shall discuss Hyderabad state, which was in 1767. This is the green and boundary which indicates about the Hyderabad state. Nizamul Mulk Asaf Jah, the founder of Hyderabad state, was one of the most powerful members of the court of the Mughal Emperor Farooq Siyar. He was entrusted first with the governorship of Awadh and later given charge of the kingdom. As the Mughal governor of Deccan provinces, Asaf Jah already had full control over its political and financial administration. Asaf Jah brought skilled soldiers and administrators from northern part of India who welcomed the new opportunities in the southern part of the India. He appointed Mansabdars and granted Jagirs. The state of Hyderabad was constantly engaged in a struggle against the Marathas in the west and with the independent Telugu warrior chiefs Nayakas of the plateau. The ambitions of the Nizams to control the rich textile producing areas of the Coromandel coast in the east were checked by the British, who were becoming increasingly powerful in this region. Another important state is Awadh, which has become independent, seeing the weak authority of the Mughals in the 18th century. Awadh is a part of the Uttar Pradesh, that is the central part of the Uttar Pradesh. Burhanul Mulk Saadat Khan was appointed Subadar of Awadh in 1722 and founded a state which was one of the most important to emerge out of the breakup of the Mughal Empire. Awadh was a prosperous region controlling the rich alluvial Ganga plain and the main trade routes between northern India and Bengal. Burhanul-Mulk also held combined offices of Subadari, Diwani, and Faujadari. All the three important offices he held. He reduced the influence of Mughals in Awadh by decreasing office holders, that is, Jagirdars appointed by the Mughal kings. He also reduced the size of Jagirs and appointed his own loyal servants to vacant positions. This is Awadh and he is Burhanul Mulk Sadat Khan. The red indications are showing the Awadh state. The state depended on local bankers and Mahajans for loans, which sold the right to collect taxes later. These revenue farmers, Ijaredars, agreed to pay the state a fixed sum of money. Local bankers guaranteed the payment of this contracted amount to the state. In turn, the revenue farmers were given considerable freedom in the assessment and collection of taxes. These developments allowed new social groups like money lenders and bankers to influence the management of the state's revenue system, something which had not occurred in the past during the time of Mughals. Now we shall discuss the next important kingdom, independent kingdom in the 18th century, that is the Bengal. This is the territory of the Nawab of Bengal, which includes Bihar, Bengal, and Bangladesh, and Orissa. Bengal gradually broke away from Mughal control in the 18th century under Murshid Quli Khan, who was appointed as the Naib, that is, deputy to the governor of the province. Although never a formal Subedar, Murshid Quli Khan very quickly seized all the power that went with that office. Like the rulers of Hyderabad and Awadh, he also commanded the revenue administration of the state, and he had declared independence in the first half of the 18th century. Oliver began holding the court in his palace in an effort to reduce Mughal influence in Bengal. Oliver Khan transferred all Mughal Jagirdar to Orissa and ordered a major reassessment of the revenues of Bengal. Revenue was collected in cash with great strictness from all zamindars. As a result, many zamindars had to borrow money from bankers and money lenders. These, unable to pay, were forced to sell the lands to larger zamindars. Under the rule of Ali Khan, 1740 to 1756, and the banking houses of Jagat Seth became extremely prosperous and influential in the Bengal state. This is the Mehergarh fort in Jodhpur. Now we can discuss about the Vatan Jagirs of Rajput in Rajasthan today. Many Rajput kings, particularly those belonging to Amber and Jodhpur, had served under the Mughal with distinction. In exchange, they were permitted to enjoy considerable autonomy in their Vatan Jagirs. In the 18th century, these rulers now attempted to extend their control over adjacent regions also. Ajit Singh, the ruler of Jodhpur, was also involved in the factional politics at the Mughal court. These influential Rajput families claimed the Subedari of the rich provinces of Gujarat and Malwa also. Raja Ajit Singh of Jodhpur held the governorship of Gujarat, and Savai Raja Jai Singh of Amber was governor of Malwa. These offices were renewed by the emperor Jahandar Shah in 1730. They also tried to extend their territories by seizing portions of imperial territories neighboring their weapons. Their weapon means around Rajasthan, like Gujarat, and then some parts of Haryana, even MP. Nagaur was conquered and annexed to the House of Jodhpur while Amber seized large portions of Bundi. Savai Raja Jai Singh founded his new capital at Jaipur and was given the Subedari of Agra in 1722. Marathas campaigns into Rajasthan from the 1740s put severe pressure on these principalities and checked their further expansion. Seizing independence, we will discuss now the three important powers in our country in addition to Bengal, Hyderabad, Awadh and Rajasthan, Rajput states. Now six Marathas and Jats. We will discuss about first the Sikh Empire, how the Sikh organized themselves into a political authority. The organization of the Sikh into a political community during the 17th century helped in regional state building in the Punjab. Several battles were fought by Guru Gobind Singh against the Rajput and Mughal rulers both before and after the institution of the Khalsa in 1699. After his death in 1708, the Khalsa rose in revolt against the Mughal authority under Banda Bahadur's leadership, declared their sovereign rule by striking points in the name of Guru Nanak and Guru Gobind Singh, and established their own administration between the Satluj and the Jamuna. Banda Bahadur was captured for this action in 1715 and executed publicly in 1716. Maharaja Ranjit Singh and his swords he used to see the famous ruler of Sikh who ruled Punjab of India and Pakistan. Under a number of able leaders in the 18th century, the Sikh organized themselves into a number of bands called Jattas and later on Mizals. Their combined forces were known as the Grand Army Dal Khalsa. The entire body used to meet at Amritsar at the time of Baisakhi festival, which is very important agricultural festival, and Diwali to take collective decisions known as resolutions of the Guru, that is Guru Mata. A system called Raki was introduced offering protection to cultivators on the payment of tax of 20% of the produce. Guru Gobind Singh had inspired the Khalsa with belief that their destiny was the rule. Raj Karega Khalsa. That was the slogan. Their well-lit organizations enabled them to put up a successful resistance to the Mughal governors, first then to Amar Shah Abdali, who has seized the rich province of the Punjab and the Sarkar of Sarhind from the Mughals. The six territories in the late 18th century extended from the Indus to the Jamuna, but they were divided under different rulers. One of them, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the very famous Sikh ruler, reunited these groups and established his capital at Lahore, which is located at present in Pakistan, in the year 1719. Now, we shall see the Marathas. The Marathas kingdom was another powerful regional kingdom to arise out of a sustained opposition to Mughal rule. Shivaji, who ruled from 1627 to 1680, carved out a stable kingdom with the support of powerful warrior families, that is Deshmukhs, groups of highly mobile peasant pastoralists, Kunbis provided the backbone of the Maratha army. Shivaji used these forces to challenge the Mughal in the peninsula. After Shivaji's death, effective power in the Maratha state was widened by a family of Chitpavan Brahmanas who served Shivaji's successors as Peshwas or principal ministers. Pune became the capital of the Marathas during the time of Peshwaship. Under the Peshwas, the Marathas developed very successful military campaigns and they organized their military warfare. Their success lay in the bypassing the fortified areas of the Mughals by raiding cities and by engaging Mughal armies in areas where the supply lines and reinforcements could be easily disturbed. Between 1720 and 1761, the Maratha Empire expanded far and wide. It gradually chipped away at the authority of the Mughal Empire. Malwa and Gujarat were seized from the Mughals by the 1720s by the Marathas. By the 1730s, the Maratha kings were recognized as the overlords of the entire Deccan Peninsula. They possessed the right to levy Chaud and Sardesmukhi in the entire region. Chaud means 1 by 4 of the total produce, Sardesmukhi means 1 by 10. After raiding Delhi in 1737, the frontiers of Maratha domination expanded rapidly into Rajasthan and Punjab in the north, into Bengal and Orissa in the east, and into Karnataka and the Tamil and Telugu countries in the south. They were defeated by Amar Shah Abdali, an Afghan ruler in 1761 at Third Battle of Panipat. Next important power is Jats. Like the other states, the Jats consolidated their power during the late 17th and 18th centuries. Under their leader, Churaman, they acquired control over territories situated to the west of the city of Delhi, and by the 1680s they had begun dominating the region between two imperial cities of Delhi and Agra. For a while, they became the virtual custodians of the city of Agra. The Jats were prosperous agriculturists, and towns like Panipat and Ballabgarh became very important trading centers in the areas dominated by the Jats. Under Surajmal, the kingdom of Bharatpur emerged as a strong, powerful Jat state. When Nadir Shah sacked Delhi in 1739, many of the city's nobles took refuge there. His son, Jawahir Shah, had 30,000 troops of his own and hired another 20,000 Marathas and 15,000 Sikh troops to fight the Mughals. While the Bharatpur fort was built in a very traditional style at Deep, the Jats built an elaborate garden palace combining styles seen at Amber and Agra. Its buildings were modeled on architectural forms first associated with royalty under Shah Jahan. This is 18th century palace complex at Deeg, which is located in Bharatpur state. Bharatpur rulers built it. Note the Bangla dome on the assembly hall on the roof of the building. This is the Bharatpur state ruled by the Jats. Surajmal is a very powerful Jat ruler here. Thank you very much for your patience here.